Hello, this is Steven Shinder Reviews in video form, and I'm here to talk about the new Doctor Who episode, The Interstellar Song Contest. This, look, do not watch this video if you haven't watched the episode. I really liked it. I think it's maybe an 8.5 out of 10 for me, but yeah, go watch the episode. You won't want to have this spoiled. So yeah, this episode I think was preceded by a video where Russell T. And I didn't watch the video, but I heard people talk about the video about how people will not want to miss it and to not spoil it for other people. And so I'm watching the episode. I know it's like basically Doctor Who Eurovision in space or whatever. And so it's feeling pretty standard for a bit, and I keep thinking to myself, okay, so what's the thing that won't people won't want to get spoiled? And then I saw her face. Yeah, I saw Susan's face, Carol Ann Ford, an older Susan. So this happens when the Doctor gets blown out into space, and we know that he's not going to die. Belinda's probably not going to die in the episode, so it feels like faux tension, but sometimes that is par for the course for Doctor Who. But yeah, when he got that flash of, a vision, I guess, or maybe it's the present, or maybe it's his imagination, but he sees Carol Ann Ford as Susan saying grandfather, and I guess he keeps seeing her because she's supposed to remind him of who he is. Uh, and like I said, this episode does two impossible things before breakfast. I actually don't remember if I said that earlier in this video. It's really late. It's a quarter past 1 a.m. as I'm recording this. So it's literally not breakfast yet. So yeah, two impossible things. Susan is one of them, and the other is when at the end, in the mid-credits scene, we find out that Mrs. Flood is the Ronnie. And this was not something I actually thought would happen. People had been speculating that, oh, maybe it is the Ronnie because, Flood, Rain, and change the letters around in Rain, Ronnie. But, people were talking about rights. I don't know what the exact rights situation was or is. And just for so long as a Doctor Who fan, I'm 30. I got into Doctor Who in 2013. So I was like 18, 19, something like that. Went through all of Classic Who and then got into New Who. And since then, it has just felt like these characters, Susan, the Ronnie, the Valyard, that they would just never return on the show and it would just be in the audios. And I love the audios that include Susan when she meets the Eighth Doctor, and more recently, she's met a young version of the War Doctor, voiced by Jonathan Carley in those audios. And I really like her journey, but I've still wanted to see her return in the modern show. And she kept getting teased last season, and then it was a fake out, and I was kind of starting to lose hope that she would show up. But lo and behold, Carol Ann Ford has shot new footage for this episode, and this can't be the last we see of her. Same with the Fugitive Doctor. These appearances are so brief that there's got to be more planned for them in this era. It'd be pretty interesting having the Fugitive Doctor and Susan meet, given Fugitive is pre grandfather. That'd be neat. If not on the show, maybe in the audios. That'd be really cool. But yeah, it just felt like these characters, Susan, the Ronnie, the Valyard, and the Valyard hasn't reappeared in the show yet. Or I don't know if he ever will. But now I kind of think maybe there is a chance that he could, given that these characters that I thought were just always going to be off limits for whatever reason are back now. So I'm kind of bearing the lead here with Mrs. Flood. She bi-generates, which, we'd only seen with the 14th and 15th Doctor. Um, and I'm very curious why this happened, this particular bi-generation, and if it'll get explained further. Maybe some things will get clarified. Probably not, but one can hope. And after they bi-generate, you have Mrs. Flood, and the new incarnation is played by Archie Punjabi, and apparently she voiced Jedi Master Deba Balaba in the series premiere of Star Wars: The Bad Batch. So, and she's done a lot of other things, most of which I've not seen. But she says that Mrs. Flood is a Ronnie, while she is the Ronnie, the definite article. And it's a bit confusing. I kind of wonder if this means that she is pre Classic Who Ronnie, like maybe she'll regenerate into the Ronnie that we know from the 80s. I don't know how well that jives with the lore. Like, I don't know how well that fits with the lore that we know from the show anyway. But I am excited. And, when Susan's face first popped up, I jumped out of my bed and like I literally jumped with joy and was standing in front of the TV for maybe a full 5 minutes as the episode progressed. So I'm now really excited for the two-part finale, and I guess the finale would be airing on Archie Punjabi's birthday. I saw that her birthday is May 31st. This next episode is May 24th, of course, which we've been teasing is the end of the world. And we do get an answer that um, something happened that ended the world, but it's unknown. So that's what the Doctor and Belinda are trying to find out at the end of this. The main story of the episode itself, with the song contest and the revelation that, you have this guy known as Kid who wants revenge against there's this corporation that stole honey seeds from this world and made it so that honey is not regrowable. And you also have this very moving song in an alien language, and it's a song for peace, basically, or at least that's what I got out of it. And, there's also a song for peace in Andor season 2 recently. Or I guess it was more of a chant, or rallying chant. But yeah, I thought that was handled pretty well. The Doctor's hologram moment was really cool, and once again we see a darker side of the Doctor. I feel like many incarnations, even when they seem like they could be the nicest person ever, they still have a darker side that comes out now and then. And again, I think Susan's, these visions of Susan are supposed to remind the Doctor of who he is. And by the end of it, he kind of thinks that it's just his imagination. He's imagining Susan. But I think she's very much going to be present in these remaining episodes. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this was a telepathic connection that's far reaching. In which case, the Doctor is for sure definitely not the last of the Time Lords. Now, there's been the question mark of, oh, is the master just contained somewhere now? But yeah, Susan and the Ronnie and the doctor. So the doctor's not the last one, and I'm still hoping that this points to there being more survivors of Gallifrey, and that it wasn't just like everyone was killed there during the Chibnall era. Um, so yeah, this was really enjoyed the main story and enjoyed the surprises. So 8.5 out of 10, I think. And really excited to see what they do with these elements in the remaining couple of episodes this season. So yeah, I think that's it for me for now. It's getting really late, and I think I touched on the main things I wanted to talk about. So thanks for tuning in to Steven Shinder Reviews in video form, and I'll see you all soon.